Jai Gurudev students, I am your science teacher and welcome in my class. So today I am going to give you revision, revision of the taught part which you have studied in the month of April. So Anandita ma'am has taught you I think 3 chapters. So today we will revise those chapters in a very short way, so that we will start the new chapters and new portion. Okay, so let's start with the first chapter. So yeah, our first chapter is nutrition in plants. Okay, so let's start this one. As you know, children, in nutrition of plants, you have studied about two main kind of nutrition. Which are those kind of nutrition? First one, autotrophic nutrition, and second is heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Okay. So what you have studied in autotrophic nutrition? As you know, children, name also indicate the meaning. Auto means automatically. Okay. So automatically some of the plants, means all the green plants, they can prepare their food automatically, means they don't have to move from one place to another to search the food or to do some efforts. Okay, effortless. They can prepare their food by staying at one place by the use of simple things. They get carbon dioxide from the air, they absorb water from their roots, and with the help of sunlight they can prepare their food, because in their leaves, in their green parts, they have chlorophyll, which is a green pigment, and that green pigment can absorb the sunlight, and that sunlight, with the help of that sunlight, they can prepare their food, and this process is called photosynthesis. Okay, so this is about the autotrophic nutrition. You have studied in detail, I know that, but in fast we will just recall that what we have learned in the previous month. So next one is a heterotrophic nutrition. As you know, children, that under this category we will study about some category of plants which are either not green in color, or if they are green in color, then also they are lacking with some of the nutrients. That's why they require some another pattern to get their nutrition or to get their food. Okay, so under this category we can classify this heterotrophic nutrition again into 4 types. Okay, so first type is saprophytes. Saprophytes. Okay, and second category is parasites. Third category are symbionts or symbiotic, we can say them. Okay, symbiotic plants or symbiotic relationship. And fourth category is carnivorous plants, or we can say them insectivorous plants. Okay, I will write here insectivorous only. Insectivorous plants or insectivorous kind of nutrition. Okay, so let's study or recall these topics also, what we have learnt in this Saprophytes are those organisms which can get their nutrition from dead organic matter. Okay, so they always feed on dead material. Here you can take an example of fungus. Fungus always grow on our food items. We get those food items from the plants, and plants are living. But when those food items detached from the plant body, that time they become dead now. Okay, pulses or all the food items, vegetables which we can use, if we keep for 2, 3 or more days, then fungus automatically grow on these food items, and fungus get food from those food items. So these are the saprophytes, which are which take or get nutrition from dead matter, dead organic matter. And these parasites are those organisms which live on another plants. Here we are talking about the plants, so we can take an example also related to the plants only. Parasites are those plants which get their nutrition from another plants. As you know that amarbel, you must have seen, or if you have not seen, you can ask your parents. They can show you that amarbel, which is called cuscuta also. Its English name is cuscuta, and cuscuta plant always grow on the other trees, and they that cuscuta plant or amarbel, it gets nutrition from those host plant. Means trees are the host for them, and cuscuta is a parasite for those trees. Okay, so these are the parasites, and under this symbiotic relationship, you must have studied in the month of April about I think in your book they have given as an example of lichens. Okay, lichens, and one more example of leguminous plants and bacteria. Means here what happened, here also there is a relationship between two organisms, but here one is getting benefit and other is getting harm. Okay, because the tree is getting harm from cuscuta in parasites, but here what happened, both the members or both the plants or category of organism, they give benefit to each other. Okay, so here in symbiotic relationship, both are getting benefit. As you know that in case of lichens, that is a member of means a combination of algae and fungi. Lichens is a combination of algae and fungi. Algae are green in color, so algae can prepare their food, and fungi can get prepared food from the algae. Okay, and fungi give provide that basic materials or nutrients it can provide to the algae for the preparation of food. It can absorb water or other nutrients also, and fungi also provide space to the algae to grow properly. Okay, so both are giving benefit to each other, so that's why they are in a symbiotic relationship. Okay, and fourth category are the insectivorous plants. So under these insectivorous plants, you have studied about the pitcher plant, which is called Nepenthes, or other so many examples are also given in your book. So children, what will happen in these plants? These are green in color. They can prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. But what will happen? These plants are growing in those areas which have wet soil, or we can say marshy areas. Marshy area means daldal. You must have heard this word. दलदल टाइप के जो एरियाज होते हैं उनमें ये ग्रो करते हैं. ओके, सो insectivorous plants, they can't get nitrogen from their soil directly, and because of the nitrogen content, to get the nitrogen content, they capture or catch the insects, they feed on insects to get nitrogen requirement. Okay, so these insectivorous plants, why they get nitrogen? Because other plants, they get nitrogen from the soil directly, and that soil is wet and that soil can't hold nitrogen content, or they are lacking with the nitrogen. So that's why these kind of insectivorous plants, they require nitrogen, and nitrogen is a main important content to prepare protein in their body. Okay, and as you know that plants are mainly, they want nitrogen for the preparation of or for the formation of this protein. Okay, so to make that protein, they want nitrogen, and nitrogen is not present there in their soil, so that's why they feed on insects. Okay, so children, this is all about the first chapter which you have studied in detail. You just open your notes. Once you read it out, you have given test of this chapter also. So I think you have studied properly. So we have revised this chapter, and after this we will revise the next chapter, chapter number 2.